Hi, this is Nanette Hosenfeld with the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Monday, March 21st, 2016. Looking at precipitation over the past 14 days, you can see from the observed precipitation image on the left that the northern portion of the Great Basin has received more precipitation than the southern part of the Great Basin. If we look at the image on the right, which is percent of normal, this is reflected, as you can see that the cooler colors are across the northern part of the Great Basin, and those are the areas that are above normal, while the southern half of the Great Basin is below normal over the past 14 days. And even if you look back over 30 and 45 days, you can see a similar pattern reflected where much of the Great Basin is below normal as far as precipitation. The infrared satellite this morning shows a low-pressure system off the west coast of the United States, and that low-pressure system will make its way eastward over the next couple of days and bring us some rain and snow. The ventilation index for this afternoon is good to excellent across much of the area, with the exception of just small areas in central and southern Idaho and northwestern Utah. If we look at the ventilation index a little more closely, if we break it into the transport wind and mixing height components, you can see that the transport winds are quite strong across western Nevada and portions of central and southern Utah. And we also see some good mixing heights in those areas as well. And so as a result, we will see the good to excellent mixing across those areas of the Great Basin today. Good to excellent mixing continues into tomorrow as that system makes its way into the Great Basin. And again, if we look at the transport winds and mixing height, you can see pretty healthy transport winds across the majority of the Great Basin, with the strongest transport winds across portions of eastern Nevada and south Idaho, as well as eastern Utah. And mixing heights are quite good also across the Great Basin, with the highest mixing heights across southern Nevada and southern Utah. Moving into Wednesday, that system will begin to move off to the east, and we will see high pressure building across the western part of the Great Basin. With the high pressure building, we will see a decrease in mixing, and that's reflected in the ventilation index forecast over here, the image on the right. You can see those lower values across western Nevada forecast for Wednesday. If we look at a little more detail on Wednesday, you can see those lower transport winds in this image on the left across western Nevada, really light transport winds across west and central Nevada. And as well, we do see those lower mixing heights across west and central Nevada on Wednesday. So for Wednesday, pretty good mixing across much of the Great Basin, with the lowest values across western and central Nevada. Taking a look at the forecast clearing index for Utah for today through Wednesday, you can see that general trend reflected with good to excellent mixing Monday and Tuesday across much of the state, with that downward trend expected to begin on Wednesday. That storm that is headed our way will bring us a fair amount of precipitation. You can see that much of the Great Basin will see precipitation. The greatest values are expected across the higher terrain of Utah, with some values in excess of an inch. As we move into Thursday, we will see the ridge flatten out a bit, and as a result, mixing will improve across those areas in Nevada where it was lower on Wednesday. And as we move into Friday, we will see a continued trend of good mixing values across the majority of the area, with disturbance moving its way through the northern part of the Great Basin on Friday. Looking at Saturday, high pressure begins to build again over the western part of the Great Basin, and with that higher pressure, we'll see lower mixing heights, lighter transport winds, and a resultant decrease in mixing. So moving into Saturday, we will see the ventilation index trend downwards with that higher pressure. And finally, taking a look at Sunday, that high pressure will build over the area, but with disturbance moving in from the west, we will see an increase in the ventilation index on Sunday. That second little system that's expected to brush by midweek this week will bring us a bit of precipitation. Again, it will be the northern two-thirds of the Great Basin that will see precipitation from that. And currently, the forecast precipitation values are not quite as high as the storm that we're going to see beginning tomorrow. Finally, taking a look at the 8 to 14 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, we are expecting above normal temperatures and below normal precipitation across the majority of the Great Basin. So that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to let us know. Our contact information is on the screen, and you can also find us on Twitter. Thanks.